Hi, my name is Joel Lopez. I'm going to go ahead and go over the strategy and competitor analysis. So I have a picture of Disney, and then their competitor in the studio industry, 20th Century Fox, and then in the theme park industry, Six Flags. Um, and I'm going to go over some strategies that I looked at and I really liked. And so their most important strategy was target market penetration, creating the brand for loyal customers, and use of retail stores. So what they did trying to get market share was that it all started off in 1995 when they bought ABC for $19.1 billion, and all the subsidies that came with them, like ESPN and Lifetime and A&E and History Channel, that they acquired over time. So that really helped get them in the TV industry. And so by 2006, they really decided that they needed to up their ante in the movie and film industry. So they went ahead and decided to purchase Pixar Animation. You might know them from Toy Story, A Bug's Life, and other films that came out in the 90s that were very popular with children in that era. They also purchased Marvel in 2009, which is a really big company studio that provided that superhero movie for all comic book fanatics. And then they bought Lucasfilm. George Lucas was on the verge of retiring, and CEO of Disney, Robert Iger, gave him basically an offer he couldn't resist and sold Lucasfilm in 2012. And Lucasfilm not only involved with Star Wars, they're involved with TV shows and Indiana Jones, movies that you've seen in the past, back in the 80s and 90s. And so this helped help give Disney like about 25% of the market share in the box office in 2016. And so here are three competitors: Time Warner, Viacom, who's a big cable TV branded company, like you can see in this picture, MTV, Nickelodeon, DreamWorks, Spike TV, Comedy Central, big time broadcast networks that are really popular on cable TV. And then you have Fox Studios. I think as far as the entertainment industry goes and movie industry, Fox is up there. They have license rights for some things that Disney really want, like the Wolverine or basically every character in the X-Men. They have rights to create movies, and they have done so since I believe 2003. And then they also acquired Deadpool rights, and Deadpool is probably one of their most successful superhero iconic movies that they've ever made to date. And it's really helped Fox out. And so basically Disney and Fox are always going back and forth trying to figure out how Disney can acquire the licensing back, since Marvel gave them to Fox. And then here's a little bit of competitor comparison as far as the things that they overlap with other people and the things that they do differently, or not many people are able to do. So as you can see, they have resorts and parks with only one of two. And then they still do book publishing, and right here they still have a radio station and Radio Disney, and it's fairly popular with kids. I grew up kind of listening to it on the AM FM radio. And then as you can see, CBS is pretty embarked in most of the categories except for music label, parks, and TV distribution. And as on TV, I think CBS is probably one of the biggest competitors to Disney because they do sports and all these other types of networks, like movies and TV shows. And Fox, on the other hand, is mainly focused on movies, TV shows, broadcasts, and TV production. So that's where Disney has his competitors at. And then on the bottom, I have basically a S&P 500 and stock analysis for Disney and Fox. So as you can see, Disney done pretty well the past 5 years. It steadily increased, or significantly increased, from 2013 all the way up until 2016. when they were constantly having all these different types of Avengers movies, Avatar, big blockbuster movies that really boosted their profit, and basically adding different types of theme parks to their parks. In Disney World, you can go Animal Kingdom, Epcot, Harry Potter World. It's a lot of stuff, and so it really helped their stock prices. And then Fox, it went up, and then it stayed around the same, and then it kind of went down, and it's slowly going up because they've had some pretty good successes in the recent movies they've produced, like Logan and Deadpool and X-Men Apocalypse. Those are pretty good ones. Not only the how the Super Bowl and all the ratings and everything have been going lately, you can notice an increase in January of 2017. And then I wanted to show you a little comparison, because it's actually kind of interesting how big of a difference in 2013 Disney's theme park was in revenue-wise compared to Six Flags and SeaWorld and Universal Studios, which are big-time parks. As you can see, they're 5 to 6 times greater in earning that in revenue. And then last but not least, I have 2 more things to talk about. One is how they basically they create a loyal customer, and they do it 4 ways. One way is by the theme. So when you go to Disney World or a Disney theme park, you're parking in areas like Pumbaa's parking lot, or the 100-acre wood forest from Winnie the Pooh. Just like making really, really detailed themes and making them all feel like you're just, instead of just parking into like section B, row 5, it makes it more creative and more artistic for people coming in to see something. And then the immersion, they immerse you with this happy, joyful, gleeful feeling with all the characters that they have and all the different types of shows and parades that go on throughout the day at Disney World. And then there's 2 more. One is that they really stress that everybody, every girl that goes to Disney World is a princess, and they make sure that they have the characters that are out treat every girl as if they're a princess, so that they can feel like one, and that really has helped with bringing children to Disney to really experience that magic feeling that they see in the movies. And then last but not least, their attention to detail to cleaning the parks. For example, if a tree doesn't look right, or if it's sticking out, they'll fix it. Or if it's dead, or if they need to replace it, they replace it that night that they notice it. I've also heard things where they release cats at night to get rid of their rodent problems. They don't allow gum in the parks so that people can't spit it out somewhere. And they clean the park very, very, very immaculate every single night before every opening gate in the morning. Compared to Six Flags, I've been to Six Flags. I've been to multiple Six Flags throughout the U.S., and they don't really pay attention to detail. They have a set amount of characters, whether it's Looney Tunes or DC Comics like Aquaman or Wonder Woman, but they're not really detailed, and you just parking a lot going into the theme park, and that's about it. You enjoy the rides, but they don't really stress on the overall detailed experience like Disney does. And I think that's really unique, because that takes a lot of work to be that detailed at all. And then the last one I want to talk about is their product differentiation strategy as far as their retail stores. Not many companies have retail stores like DreamWorks. Pixar didn't have one. And that's where they can sell their merchandise in store without having to go on the internet, or without having to go to some sort of theme-related park that has their merchandise in it. And so in 1987, they produced their first retail store in California and did really well, so they began building more. And I believe up until about 2010, they had about 248 or 340, I'm sorry, stores worldwide. And they noticed a slip in sales and revenue, between 3 to 6 million, varied upon year. And they called a person very familiar to the tech industry and even in the animation industry, which is Steve Jobs. And they asked him to basically redesign and make over the Disney store. And so what he decided to do was attract children by having, if you ever gone in there, they have trees and touch screens so you can see your favorite clips and listen to your favorite songs, and little castles for girls to dress up and play princess and tea party in. It's a very Disney World, Disney-like experience that you can get closer to home instead of if you live 3 or 4 or 5 states away or across the country. And so that really helped increase the revenue a lot, significantly. I couldn't find a number, but after they had done the entire makeover, their revenue, total revenue for the year, would be $1.3 billion, which is not a lot compared to the $55 billion that they make yearly on everything, but it does add up over the years. And so the differentiation of making the store different from other retail stores, for example, Build-A-Bear Workshop, it's more magical feeling by the things that are put into the store, and not necessarily just like little places you can look at, stand at, play with. And a really cool thing that they did change was they changed it from the Disney store to just Disney, so they can actually give the overall idea that you're in Disney. And I think that's really cool how they decided to do that over the years. This is my portion of the company analysis for Disney. Thank you.